What's going on, everybody? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, you got to excuse my throat. I guess I was laughing so much on the live stream last night with you guys that I slightly damaged it. But the train still keeps moving as usual. We're going to jump on this story. This story right here is out of, I think it's called South Fulton in Georgia. So it was reported on Fox 5 Atlanta, so I don't know how close it is to Atlanta. But this story right here, man, got to me because it just shows how people play on, they use the sympathy and they play on the hearts and minds of the ignorance of people that don't know stuff. And when I say ignorance, I'm not talking about in a negative way. When you don't know something, you don't know something. And this story is about this and how a lot of us out here need to educate ourselves and know what our rights are when we're doing, when we're involved in certain things or we have certain ownership. A lot of us get content with just having ownership of something and not really reading the guidelines and knowing what our rights are in case disaster happens, like in this case. Now, the woman up here pictured, she's the only one that's pictured right now. Her name is Betty Lejeune, right? And she's an HOA president. She was at some townhomes called Camelot. Now, this woman, along with someone else that's not pictured, have warrants out for them. I guess she's still in custody, but the treasurer, whose name is Lyndon Baldwin Sr., he has a warrant out for him. These people, there was a massive fire in the Camelot townhomes, which people got hurt, people died, and a lot of damages was incurred. A lot of people lost everything. And these people wound up stealing $1.5 million, supposedly, from the HOA. You use the HOA influence, and they took $1.5 million away from the insurance money for these residents that had suffered a loss. Now I'm gonna play this video, and then we're gonna come back and really get on this, because this is sad for a lot of us to do each other like this. Check it out.
A reaction from the victims of a massive fire at a South Fulton condo complex after police announced insurance fraud charges against two officials from the complex's homeowners association. They're accused of stealing $1.5 million owed to victims. News Edge reporter Joy Dukes has the latest.
Yeah, the victims we spoke with say that fire was the source of so much hardship in the days and months that followed. One former resident says she and her family were shocked to learn some of it could have been alleviated with the insurance payout they never received.
Somebody was really trying to help us, and we never got any help from no one.
Jacoria Harris says her life was forever changed by the January 2020 fire that destroyed her home at Camelot Condominiums and nearly claimed the lives of her mother, sister-in-law Christian Smith, and their kids who were all inside at the time.
It's like the black smoke. It was so thick you couldn't breathe. My nieces and nephews was thrown over the balcony to be saved.
Saved by her mother, who died just months later.
My mom got real sick after the fire. We were just devastated.
Harris says with no place to go and their belongings reduced to tattered ashes, she was hopeful Camelot's HOA president at the time, Betty Lejeune, meeting up with residents to get their information was a sign that help was coming.
She told us she would call us, but we never heard from anybody.
They didn't see Lejeune again until almost 4 years later, when this photo of her mugshot on Fox 5 flashed across their TV screen Friday as South Fulton police announced charges against her and the HOA's current treasurer, Lyndon Baldwin, for stealing $1.5 million in insurance payouts from victims.
It's mind-blowing because you never expect that to happen. Why would you want to take from people and you know what we experienced that day firsthand? You stood there with us and watched the building burn down.
Harris says the charges confirmed a gut feeling she had from the very beginning.
They couldn't even get out the back door. That's why they had to jump.
and Betty knew that.
If the allegations are proven to be true, they say they want to see justice.
She need to get what she deserves. She needs to go to jail.
Harris says she is planning to meet with South Fulton's mayor to speak about this. Meanwhile, South Fulton police say tracking down other victims has been difficult, so they are asking people who are impacted to reach out to investigators directly. That's the latest here in South Fulton.
All right, guys, that's the story. And it's a damn shame that allegedly if these people had did that and stole that amount of money, that's messed up that they did that to those folks. You seen the thing they said people died in the fire. People died later on after the fire. They had to throw children off of a balcony to be caught by bystanders to save their lives. If you look at that picture, that was a full-blown inferno where it burned everything down to the ground. They said some part the back doors was locked where they couldn't get out, and the lady knew this. A lot of times these these townhomes that are like row homes and put together like apartments, buildings, a lot of times the HOA and stuff run that situation like it's sometimes apartment buildings or apartment complexes that are poorly run. And they have an HOA. Townhomes be like that sometimes. That's why I used to shun townhomes, because you never know who the president is, if they getting stuff done, and if the management is on it, because that right there is a big deal. You have to have exits, certain things working in a house and a building, for safety reasons in case said fire like this breaks out. So she was slipping on the job, period. Or whoever was in charge. She the president, so I'm going to put it on her. They said she knew about it. Got to be complaints being filed. And, priority is taking care of that, because a fire can spark at any given time. And you have a bunch of people having different living habits, electricity and gas and all this other stuff. It's a living establishment where you have multiple people. Not all of them going to be responsible. Anything can happen at any given time. It's like an apartment complex. It's like a townhouse. Things break. And as president, she should have been nominated knowing that she's the most responsible, because you don't just get to be president. People vote you in. My thing is this. If they say she took $1.5 million, insurance must have kicked out a hell of a lot for them to think they could just skim $1.5 million. Because you got to remember, look, you got to think about it like this. You got to pay for new construction. You got to pay the people for damages. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm thinking is all of the money that they had separated the money to rebuild the facility, the place. But because they had the people there, they thought the people was ignorant, right? And what was due to the people, they was like, you know what? Let's keep it. And then tell them, they probably was like, this is the plan. They probably like, let's keep this and tell them there was nothing left. We'll just rebuild it and put them back in there. And I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing in history, and we're still seeing it now, that is more profitable than the ignorance of people. Somebody tell me I'm lying on that. When you don't know something and you're responsible for kicking in money to make somebody else better, they will keep everything they can from you, that's feasible for them. Because when you're ignorant, and when I say ignorant, I'm saying you don't know your laws. You don't know the bylaws of being in your area. You don't know the fine print. A lot of people are just content with having a house. And they don't know that certain things come with having said home, responsibilities. A lot of people know it. And what they'll do is they'll take advantage of you. And I think this is one of the parts. Anytime you get any type of establishment or home, it takes a lot of work. It takes knowing what your rights are. It takes knowing, what you're liable for, what they're liable for. They give us contracts and stuff. It takes, it pays to look over that stuff. So when anybody try to pull some game on you, you could say, okay, we're right here in article such and such. It says that you are on the hook for this. And you get what I'm getting at? It could have been avoided. And I'm not blaming this on the people. But there are people out here that wish to take advantage of you because they can, and they know that you don't know what they know. This is just one of the things about how it is here in America. The ones that have and the ones that know don't tell and don't say nothing. And the ones that don't know don't care because they think the people that know are responsible for them. It's messed up that this lady did this. And the treasurer, Lyndon Baldwin Sr., whoever he is, he was in on, and he hasn't been caught. Now they showed a mugshot of this lady. I don't know if this lady, Betty Lejeune, is still in jail, but it's messed up that you know that these people suffered. They had ladies on there talking. You ain't seen no men. I'm not saying, it wasn't no men there, but like the people they had talking was women. And the pictures they showed was of women or whatever. A lot of times when you have situations like this, and I don't know if there's a man in the house, but I'm just going to use this for an example. And you don't have no man, or a man is not present to speak in a normal audible tone, like, hey, listen, yo, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times this type of stuff happens. This lady's wrong. She's wrong. Treasurer's wrong. If the allegations are true. But it's a $1.5 million unaccounted for, and we know it went through the hands of the president. How do you do this to people that have suffered traumatic experience, PTSD? I don't know if you guys have ever been in a fire, right? But I was in a fire with an ex-girlfriend. The house, it was apartments. Daughter came in and told me, hey, the bathroom's on fire. The exhaust fan had got an electrical fire. I opened the door. When I opened the door, the oxygen hit. You could see the flames coming out of the exhaust fan. As soon as I opened the door to look up, the flames spread out and it just covered the ceiling. Black smoke, it was so thick you couldn't even breathe. And it was just a small bathroom, and the flames spread so fast because the apartment complex was so old and the maintenance wasn't kept up on it. It spread it quick. Black smoke coming out the house. I got to clear everybody out the house, everybody outside. House burning up, valuables in there. People was upset. I'm looking at the kids. I felt bad. Fire department couldn't get here fast enough. Luckily, they saved the unit. This can happen to anybody out there, and I don't want to see it happen to nobody. Listen, know your rights. Know what you're legally on the hook for. These contracts you sign, really look at them. Study these HOAs that are out here, y'all, and make sure they doing what they supposed to do. Keep in contact. From what it looked like, hey, we'll get back with you. She said, we'll get back with you. Nobody came in there and said nothing. When that money came, oh, they not worrying about it. Why should I? We can get away with this. The money that's for them, just keep it. We building the place back up. They probably put them in other units. Everybody's happy. Don't worry about it. They can't complain about what they don't know. Educate yourself. Be smart. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like I said, there's profitability in people being ignorant. Don't let it be you. I'm out.